Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 18th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see the state of California right here. This is our upper level low, and that's what's brought our frontal system here. We have some strong winds ongoing as we speak, some offshore flow, some lower relative humidities moving into the area. You got some fire danger out there, and we're going to take a look at the extended forecast as always, as things look like we may remain active out over the Pacific Ocean here. We'll see what kind of frontal systems potentially are in store for the state of California and the west coast of the USA. Taking a look here at the mid-level water vapor loop, we're going to scroll back through yesterday. You can see that frontal passage as we went through the morning hours, bringing the thunderstorm activity across northeast Nevada there. You see the frontal system swoop down across the south and southeast out across Arizona. You can see all thunderstorm activity still ongoing right now as we speak, muggy on rim, and you can see central and southern Phoenix less thunderstorm activity here. But this is also ushering in the strong winds across much of the state of California. Some north winds, the offshore winds are now flowing across Southern California here as well. We'll be looking at that in some detail as we go through the video. Red flag warning goes all the way through 5 p.m. Saturday. You can see it includes the Sacramento Valley down towards Stockton, Modesto, includes the Bay Area here as well. Again, the low relative humidities and the potential for those fire starts and spreads is going to be out there. Take a look at the wind advisory also. You can see it does include some of the I-5 corridor and some gusty winds out there. This goes all the way through 8 a.m. Saturday. And if we take a look at northern portions here, you can see we got freeze warnings, we got frost advisories, and of course the red flag warnings out there as well. Pretty chilly air behind this cold front. We'll look at some of those temperatures in a moment. Los Angeles National Weather Service also has some fire danger, red flag warnings across the higher terrain especially. There are some wind advisories out there for the gusty offshore winds, high wind warning just off to these of Tehachapi and those wind advisories and whatnot. And there's a beach hazard statements out there. If you're going out towards the coastal areas, watch out for some of that increased wave action. And looking at Las Vegas, you can see Death Valley is here. There's Baker. We got some wind advisories that do include a Barstow, and you can see the chilly temperatures out here across some of the desert areas as well. Look at this, Bishop, California, 67 degrees. The forecast high for today, Daggett 72. Warming back up here as we go through the weekend here, but get your jackets and your long underwear out. Now, looking at the day one fire weather outlook, you can see there's critical fire danger across some of the peninsular and the transverse ranges here, elevated across some of the valley areas and out towards the Bay Area as well. So again, keep your wits about you. It's still fire season here across the state of California. And I just wanted to point this out, Salt Lake here. Check it out. Some of the higher terrain snowfall here, potential for some stalling overnight as that upper level low is going to be spinning across Arizona. I'll show you more on that here starting right now. This is the composite reflectivity, what the Doppler radar may look like over the next 60 hours. You can see there are a few showers potentially across some of the higher terrain showing up there, and then you see the upper level low and keeping that precipitation off to the east. Look at this taking its sweet time, bringing some thunderstorm activity across New Mexico up into Colorado, and you can see where some of that snowfall will be coming and wrapping back around up into the Utah area here as well. So we scroll off in towards Sunday, and you can see that low finally kick off to the east there as we go on in through Sunday afternoon. And then the next frontal system may start to brush portions of Northern California. More on that here in a moment. But looking at the high pressure. So this is the latest here, the North American model, high resolution. You can see that upper level low the high pressure here. Upper level low is down here across Arizona, but you see the high pressure building in. And so we've got this strong offshore gradient. That is why it's bringing these stronger winds. And then we eventually start to relax this gradient a little bit here, but by Saturday you can see that high redeveloping here through very early Saturday morning, keeping the offshore winds going. Then we start to relax that gradient for good, at least for this round here, as we go on in towards Sunday. Relax things a bit here, so the winds are going to be dying off by the time we get towards Sunday afternoon. Now, looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere, the state of California is here. You can see this very chilly air aloft. They're about 700 millibars, or about 10,000 feet up in the atmosphere. And look at this bowling ball of cold air swooping down across the area and then spinning right here over the desert areas and a lot of Arizona as we go on into the day tomorrow. Look at this thing, does not want to move too fast. Kind of slow to modify there as well. Then it eventually starts to kick off across portions of Colorado and New Mexico as we go through Sunday afternoon. So taking a closer look at Southern California, of course, you got the Los Angeles metro somewhere right here, and you got San Diego is there. You can see the Salton Sea, and you can see Las Vegas, and Western Arizona would be off to the right here. You can see Santa Barbara and Ventura counties here where I'm circling. Now, if I put this into motion, you can see as we're going through this morning, the strong winds are going out of the northeast, some of the higher terrain, especially north winds across a lot of the desert areas. And we're going to continue that on into Saturday morning as well. Another shot of wind here moving through very late tonight and on into Saturday morning, continuing that. But then we start to relax that gradient as we go on into Saturday night, on into Sunday. You can see the offshore wind still continuing somewhat here as we go through Sunday morning, and then eventually dying off there a bit as we go through Sunday afternoon. So take a look at the entire state right now. This is what's ongoing. You can see the strong northerly winds running down the Sacramento, the San Joaquin Valley, the offshore component here across the Sierra Nevada, and the strong offshore winds, of course. And then so as we go out through this morning, you can see the strongest winds are across some of the Sierra Nevada here, continuing to push off out of the northeast. We get another bump tonight, and then as we go into Saturday morning, they continue that offshore flow, but you can see it is weakening as we go on in through the day Sunday as that pressure gradient starts to relax. Now, looking at low relative humidities, I'm going to take a look at the dry air moving across the area. You can see it really dry out as we go through this afternoon, and then we're going to continue on into tonight and on into tomorrow. And look at by Saturday, virtually the entire state, very dry conditions there. Relative humidities into the single digits for some areas as we go on into Saturday. And then as we relax those gradients, then we're going to moisten things back up a little bit here. But you can see still on into Sunday, things are still very dry as the next frontal system finally tries to move towards Northern California. Now, we're going to take a look at 18,000 feet wider view of things here. You got the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. There is the state of California with their upper level low right across Nevada, moving down towards Arizona and kind of spinning and doing the funky chicken thing here as we go on in through Sunday. Then this frontal system will clip some northern portions here of California, and then we're going to drop this cutoff low here out over the Pacific Ocean. And the big question is, and what I've been watching here, is how is this going to eject? Is this going to bring a frontal system back through the Bay Area or even a little bit further south, or is this mainly going to move up towards the Pacific Northwest? It's something we'll be watching here. The models are in good agreement with this system developing out over the Pacific Ocean as I toggle back and forth. And this is about next Wednesday night. So then looking off into the later portion of next week is where we're going to be looking at the timing for that frontal system. Looks like a tropical system will also be developing here down areas south of Cabo. And right now it just looks like it's going to continue to march off to the west. Should not have much of an impact here on the southwest USA. And now taking a look at 6-hour precipitation and type as we go through the day today, you can kind of see that upper level low across Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado here, atmospheric river into the Pacific Northwest. And then that frontal system tries to bring some precipitation down for northern portions of California. It's not too much, but it's something here. And you can get a little precipitation. We'll take all we can get. And then this system starts to organize out over the Pacific Ocean. Right here, we're looking at Wednesday morning. And then this one starts to lift to the north and east. And you can see that frontal system by the time you get towards what is this Thursday afternoon and Thursday night, potentially bringing precipitation all the way down towards the Bay Area here, and some decent amounts across some of the north coast here and some of the higher terrain, and maybe some snow for the Sierra Nevada as well as we swing this through. We're now looking at Saturday morning as that system continues to push off there. And then some of the models have been showing it remaining pretty active and some troughs dropping down across Pacific Northwest, potentially trying to include some of California here as we go through a pattern change maybe towards the end of the month. But we have plenty of time to worry about that. No point in getting caught up in those details just yet. Total snow in inches. So I do want to show you as that cutoff low is out there. We're going to scroll all the way out into the extended forecast. We start to move on in through Thursday morning of the next week, and you can kind of see it possibly could bring some snowfall for the higher terrain of Northern California and the Sierra Nevada as we go through next week. So that's something we'll be watching. Plenty of time to break down those details over the next few days. And if we look at daily 2-meter min temperature, again, this morning, Friday morning, is probably the coldest here. We are still going to be pretty chilly across the backcountry portions of Nevada, and you can see some chilly temperatures all the way down through the San Joaquin Valley, down into the lower 50s and the 40s here. You're definitely feeling that waking up if you step outside. And then you go through Sunday, Monday. We do start to moderate things as we go through next week a bit, returning more to normal conditions here. We have some pretty chilly air with this upper level low, a nice cold front bringing those offshore winds. Here's the 6 to 10 day, though. You can see the above average for a lot of the southwest. This goes through October 27th, below a normal here across Pacific Northwest, but clearly above average for virtually the entire rest of the lower 48 here, all the way through October 27th. And those frontal systems, we could be clipping some portions of California here. You can see that above average, kind of bullseyed right there across some of the north shoreline areas. Now looking at 8 to 14 days, something similar here as well with the above average. We'll continue some of these systems as we go all the way through Halloween there. And I did want to point out the new drought monitor here is out. You can see some of that, what is a severe drought starting to creep in a little bit further closer to the Salton Sea here. Not much of a change here, a little bit down into Northern California as well. Some abnormally dry. Still, relatively speaking, compared to where we were a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, we are doing still fairly well here, but hopefully we can start to get some systems down in here. Maybe this upper level low will help with some of the drought conditions across portions of Arizona and southern Nevada also. But yeah, anyway, we have lots to break down as we go through the extended forecast. Interested to see what that system out over the Pacific Ocean is going to do next week. We'll see how that's going to impact California. We'll break that down day by day. Hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.